My favorite book is Redeeming Love. It is a good story about God's pursuit of us and how He follows us no matter where we go.
Hi, this is one of my favorite books at Baker, Hard Sayings of the Bible. It actually helped me get an A in class, and it's great because the different things in the Bible that you pass and go, what? It really explains and does a good job. Like Ezekiel and the dry bones symbolizing life and hope and coming alive. Definitely worth a read.
Donald Miller has easily become my favorite author of the past several years. In his spiritual memoir, A Million Miles in 1,000 Years, What I Learned While Editing My Life, Miller shares both his exhilarating moments and his seeming failures as he asks himself the question, what kind of story am I telling with my life? I ask myself the same question.
So my favorite book is The Atonement Child by Francine Rivers. It speaks of God's atonement, of His love, and even when in difficult situations and things that we don't plan and bad things that happen to us, God loves us, He forgives us, and He can use us.
Now the problem with the question, what's my favorite book, is twofold. You can't have just one favorite book, you gotta have a lot. And most of the books I read are out of print. So I decided to display a book that I've read recently that's become one of my favorites. That's The Lost World of Genesis 1 by John Walton. John Walton's one of my favorite Old Testament scholars. I believe he does an excellent job in this book of refuting the idea that we've created Genesis 1 to mean what we want it to mean. And instead of a materialistic creation, it's a functional creation. And he follows that theme throughout this book. I believe it's an excellent book. It does a great job at changing the idea of how we read Genesis 1 and the creation story.
This is Wild at Heart is one of my favorite books because it's one of the most impactful books that I've had in my life. It's about getting to know the heart of men, and I am married, I have a husband and 2 boys, and it's really helped me understand who they are as men, especially as they're teenagers growing into men.
This is Permission to Speak Freely, Essays and Art on Fear, Confession, and Grace by Ann Jackson. It's based on Ann Jackson's blog where she posted the question, what is one thing you feel you can't say in church? Basically, it's about Ann's life growing up, going from church to church as a pastor's daughter, being hurt by people who called themselves Christians, and her addictions and how she's struggled through them. Anne explores the possibility of honest, real confessions among saints and sinners, and also bringing the idea of the church as a sanctuary for broken people. This has really encouraged me to love people who are broken, and has also helped give myself permission to speak freely about my own brokenness.
Hi, I'm Sarah. One of my favorite books recently has been Amy Inspired. It's a novel. I love how the author talks about what it's like to be a 30-year-old woman who's trying to figure out where or if her life is going anywhere, and also it's funny.
I'm Summer, and I work for Baker Bookhouse for a little over a year, and my favorite book here is called When God Writes Your Love Story by Eric and Leslie Ludy. I discovered this book when I was single and in high school, and it was just a really direct, upfront book for young men or women trying to find out what God's plan is for their life, and it really spoke to me, and it would be great for anyone that is in a serious relationship or in no relationship at all.
Hi, I'm Josh, and my favorite book that we carry is Mike Mulligan and his Steam Shovel. I'm a brand new father, and I can't wait to read this to my daughter. It's all about how the friendship between Mike and his steam shovel extends far beyond what the steam shovel's usefulness is, and transcends that sort of relationship. And it's a fun read.
My favorite book in this store is the Bible, the New American Standard, the MacArthur Study Bible, because it's, of course, a Bible, and it's a commentary in it by one of my favorite people, John MacArthur, whom I trust, and I use it every day.
My favorite book is The Ragamuffin Gospel by Brennan Manning. The first time reading this, it brought me to tears because it was the first time I could really grasp the grace of God and what that means in my life. So I recommend it to everyone.
This is one of my favorite books, How Long, O Lord by D.A. Carson. It's academically informed but very pastorally sensitive. It is written from a Calvinist perspective, but definitely more than a Calvinist can benefit from it. Pick it up today.